Hello and welcome to Ms. PM Reads Christian Content, where we are continuing with Abscond by GG Wagner. And in our last video, Finley had picked up Lyzee. They're driving in a car to go, I don't know where, to some place. They're meeting some friends. And Lyzee noticed that another car is following them, and she gets nervous, gets out I think at a mall or a shopping plaza, and ducks into a store and then jumps into Sharon's car. Apparently Sharon was at this same place. Anyway, so she believes she's being followed. This is entitled Duh, Duh, Duh. And I think that's got to go with the dun, 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 right? Tune, like, uh-oh, something's coming. All right, so here we go. Lyzee was surprised at how many people were milling around the bus station at 2:30 a.m. She walked to the window and was met with a grunt from the gentleman selling tickets. He glared at her while she studied the board. Pressing her lips together, she offered a pseudo smile, accepting the ticket thrust at her. Finding a seat in the corner facing the incoming foot traffic, Lyzee watched the ebb and flow, and an uneasiness was weighing on her. It wasn't Milo that was following her tonight. She pulled a book from her bag and held it in front of her face, glancing between it and the people moving around her. Two men coming through the automatic doors caught her attention. She slumped in her seat, watching them pass by. They were engrossed in a conversation, not paying any attention to her. She let out a quiet, pent-up breath. Adrenaline coursing through her body, making it impossible to keep her legs still as it bounced crazily in front of her. Straining to hear the announcements droning in the background of the noisy station, Lyzee jumped from her seat, staring at the ticket, the thick paper pliable in her grasp. She rubbed one palm and then the other down the front of her jeans, removing the trace of moisture collecting there. The ink printed under the gate field was barely legible, causing Lyzee to be unsure if the smudged number was a 2 or a 3. Keep moving, ma'am. I need the gate for Roanoke, Virginia. We used to live in Roanoke. 21, ma'am. Now please move along. Standing in the line beneath gate 21, Lyzee took a breath. Looking ahead, she counted floor tiles in order to judge how far she was from the belted barrier. With a quick glance over her shoulder, she gauged her place in line. Her eyes caught the leering gaze of an older man that stood just behind a plump lady of a similar age. She could see the perversion in his distant eyes. His head tilted and his mouth relaxed. Lyzee managed to slip the hood of her sweatshirt on, her shoulders rounding under her backpack, grateful as the line moved, taking her one step closer to boarding and the driver finally in sight. He had a head of white hair and a smile that went all the way to his eyes. As Lyzee handed him her ticket, he winked, offered her the stub with a hearty God bless. Surmising the most people preferred the back, Lyzee settled into the second row opposite the driver and watched only the feet of the passengers filing by. The door closed and the overhead lights went off, bringing on an almost eerie hush. Lyzee sat on the edge of her seat, allowing the backpack to slide down her arms before she transferred it to her lap. The weight of it giving her a sense of calm as the deep hum of the motor gently rocked and her eyelids grew heavy. I'll close them for just a minute, she thought. The crackling of the intercom caused Lyzee to jerk awake into a fully upright position. Her eyes opened wide, surveying her surroundings, the confusion giving way as her eyes began to focus. An older woman sitting across the aisle from her offered an apologetic smile. Ladies and gentlemen, could I have your attention for a few announcements? We have just crossed into the Eastern time zone. Your electronic devices should automatically update. The time is now 8:15 a.m. We will be stopping in 20 minutes at the Ranson's Plaza, where you will be able to find pretty much anything you may need. Please be prepared to take any valuables with you when you disembark. Thank you. That's all, folks. The bus slowed, pulling into a brightly lit parking lot of a building with a red peaked roof and perfectly manicured grounds. Lyzee hoped the restrooms were as pristine as the building appeared. The sign toted several familiar restaurants and some she had not heard of, piquing her interest. Smiling politely, Lyzee waited for the older woman across from her to step into the aisle, then slipped in behind her. The air outside was cold, making her want to rush to the door, but she stayed respectfully behind the older woman, only moving ahead to open the heavy glass door and stepping out of the way so the other woman could enter, offering a feeble smile as she passed. I do appreciate that, my dear. How's about you letting me buy you a coffee and we can get acquainted? You don't have to do that, Lyzee said. I want to, though I am in need of visiting her voice turned into a whisper. Lyzee finished quickly in the restroom, walking with determination into the market, thankful it was all under the same roof. She had made the mistake of taking her hood off and running her brush through her hair. With the air so dry, her hair was now standing on end, causing her to look like a mad scientist. Standing in line behind a rather tall gentleman holding a baby over his shoulder that seemed intrigued with her hair, Lyzee added some crazy eyes that encouraged a belly laugh from the baby. The sound made her smile and her heart sink once she'd made a quick estimation of the little one's age. Walking to the counter, she laid down the dryer sheets she'd selected, offering an explanation for her hair. It's this dry air, Lyzee said. Checking the clock on the wall, she noted she still had 35 minutes before it was time to go. She glanced around the room, her stomach growling, and tried to surmise the shortest line was, and catching the older woman waving her hands in an attempt to get her attention. Well, there you are, dear, the older woman said. Lyzee could feel the heat rise in her cheeks. There must have been a misunderstanding. She had not intended on socializing on this trip. I got us a table, the woman said. I asked the nice barista what was the most popular choice with the younger folks and got that for you. My preference is always black coffee. You just can't beat that. Novella, called the barista, and then repeated the word. Is that you? Lyzee asked. Yes, my dear. I was originally planning until we were properly seated before introductions, but that's me. Novella rose. The barista made eye contact, holding up the cups. Carmelo macchiato and black coffee? Lyzee nodded, accepting the drinks and thinking a macchiato sounded so good, and remembering that it was what Rory had always ordered at the Coffee Bean. Her heart sunk at the thought, making her wish she could go back in time. Lyzee set the cups on the table, pulling out her wallet to dig for the bills to reimburse Novella. No, dear, this is my treat, Novella said. Staring into her cup, Lyzee's cheeks heated while Novella rattled out intimate facts in a matter of minutes, telling how her mother was 15 when she had relations with an older man, resulting in her. Listening to Novella tell her life story didn't make her seem that dysfunctional, Lyzee thought, as Novella prattled on. Novella's father had wanted nothing to do with either her nor her mother, and her family was dishonored. Baby Novella was raised in her mother's home as the younger sister, and being from such a small town where everybody knew everyone's business, had always felt different and out of place around her peers. Land's sake, enough about me. How about you telling me something about yourself? Novella said. I'm Lyzee. Oh, Lyzee, what a lovely name. Now that I think of it, one of my kin was named Azure, which is also a lovely name, don't you think? Lyzee learned that Novella's mother, Opal, went through men on a regular basis, resulting in a younger half-brother for Novella, who was the apple of his mama's eye. Younger brother, okay. Of course, Novella was insanely jealous, but she managed to put up a good front. Novella told her stories with much charisma, making it easy for Lyzee. All she had to do was smile and nod her head. All of the stories were one-sided, and Lyzee was just fine with that, not wanting to disclose the drama in her own life. Unfortunately, her inability to escape Novella's storytelling meant she was unable to visit any of the restaurants to get food. But she managed to deter the old lady from continuing the relationship once they were back on the bus by claiming she was tired and intended to nap until the next stop. Grateful for the solitude, Lyzee had just closed her eyes when the older woman appeared, hovering above the seat. Novella pushed a sandwich wrapped tightly in plastic wrap into Lyzee's hand. The gray hair of the older woman fell loosely above her shoulders, and a smile that was missing a few teeth smiled down on Lyzee. Feeling safer and more relaxed than she had since she left Sharon's place, Lyzee was left wondering if Novella just might be an angel. Well, let's hope so. See, my devious mind is thinking, oh, she's there to watch her. But we don't know. We'll have to keep reading to find out. All right, you guys. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you next time.